What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Cleveland Pulse YouTube channel. I am your host, Justin Harold, and with me, as always, my co-host, Jeff Santon. Today, we are bringing you guys some more Browns news, but before that, just want to give you guys a thanks again for 1,000 plus 100 more of you guys who have recently subscribed. We are very, very appreciative of all of you. Please keep sharing. Please keep liking. Please keep commenting. We really do appreciate it. And if you guys aren't subscribed already, please do go hit that button and hit the bell notification. We are going to keep pumping out videos here soon. So, that being said, Jeff, how are you doing, sir?
Doing good. Kind of the slow part in the Browns off season, so you know that nonsense is bound to happen. But we're gonna get into it.
Yep, nonsense is bound to happen. News is bound to break. And of course, it's not really football related outside of who it happened to. And so, with that being said, Perrion Winfrey being released from the Cleveland Browns yesterday after a video of, I believe, an alleged assault slash. We're just going to list it as a possible assault right now, and video recording and whatnot. He has been released by the Browns, former 2022 fourth round pick made by Andrew Berry. Jeff, I know that was something that you wanted to comment on, but also just your thoughts on Piron in general and the situation that it leaves the Browns.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a couple of quick points here. I mean, Andrew Berry kind of not. He has not been a general manager like against risk, and that's you could be said for the betterment because he's willing to make moves, he's willing to make trades, but he really has not. However, you feel about him as general manager, which I think that most Cleveland Browns fans have a good perception of him. I think that it's fair to say, and it's apparent to say, we've had some locker room issues, and we've obviously been in the media a multitude of times regarding different players. I think that that's obvious. So it's definitely something to kind of put on his resume, as far as a general manager. Does he have the best gauge of character? I think that's definitely up for debate. On the other hand, I think this just puts into perspective how much of like a mental how much mental fortitude you have to be a professional athlete, because and no excuses, obviously. This isn't an excuses thing, because cut him. I think me and Justin were saying
Yeah,
cut him months
100%.
ago. You're not good enough to have like all these issues, and that's the kind of
He was
this.
in trouble months ago. Like he was already like in the
And I
news
don't
for
even want
doing.
to I don't even want to say it like that, but we know how that's how the league works. If you're good enough, you could have scandals. I'm not saying that's correct. I'm not saying that's incorrect. This isn't a moral standpoint kind of video. It's just, what do we see with our eyes and what happened? Okay, there's video evidence of an alleged assault, like you said, Justin. He's instantly cut by the team. Good. Get him out. Not the type of guy you want on the roster as far as if you're having issues, and we go from there. But man, it's just so hard to keep a straight head. I feel like if you're a professional athlete, and you just have to, a lot of them don't have the maturity for it, and that's just how it goes.
Yeah, I think the one thing about at least bringing in like the one part I like about talking about like the FO and the people in charge about this situation is, yes, one, they can't keep an eye on these guys 100% of the time.
Right,
And
especially a football roster.
yeah, and especially when, and like Jeff said, Andrew Berry is willing to take risks and willing to be, talked about in a certain light. And specifically what we've been talking about with Winfrey, and other players in the past. I think when he came in, and maybe it was even the year after in a press conference when he was going into free agency, talking about what kind of guys that they wanted to bring in, and him and Kevin worked together, and talking about the off-field issues, and then instantly they sign a Kareem Hunt, and we're under the microscope of, hey, you said this, and then you go and you sign this guy. Well,
Right.
again, Kareem didn't do anything while he re-signed with us, correct? There weren't any, from what I know of, news or reports of him, acting up or nothing. So that happens. In terms of, his prior allegations and whatnot, nothing happens there. So there's a case for, hey, you can take those kind of chances every now and then, but they don't work out. And when they don't work out, you do get a little bit of criticism. It's only fair. It's only how we do things here. But Yeah, I think when you look at the roster though, like it's really kind of like an afterthought just because you went out and you did so much. Because, again, and this is where you get the kind of you can throw your Andrew Berry praise in there because he knew this kid was a headache and he
Sure.
went out and he went and refortified the defensive line anyway. So, in one way, yeah, you can slam Berry if you want, and the other way you can go, hey, he pretty much bubble wrapped the defensive line before any of this could happen, and thus, we're in an okay position, good position.
I mean, I think Kareem Hunt is a great point. Like, I wasn't even thinking that far back, but I kind of forgot that was somewhat of the start of this. Maybe Andrew Berry making controversial moves, but I will say the NFL, I feel like more than any other sports league, like, and this is another point where agree with it or don't agree with it. I'm not making like a point one way or the other, like how I feel about it, but it really is like you can have an incident, and if it's just an incident and there's no video of it, it's so different when like there's obviously hard evidence. But I feel like a situation could happen to any of these guys. Like, you could be the best player, like the
You
best
could be accused of anything
yeah,
in these
you
days.
can be set up. Like, it's really not that hard. Everybody has a camera in their
Yep.
pocket. So I'm not, that doesn't give you an excuse to be a bad person, obviously,
Yeah.
but you have to kind of know, like, hey, I'm a pro athlete. I make X amount of dollars every single year. So I have to kind of watch what I do, obviously. But it's like, how many of these incidents in the past with Winfrey where it's like, oh, we kind of just heard this, or he was on team
Mm-hmm.
disciplinary. As soon as there's a video cut,
Boom.
obviously.
Yep.
Of course, I think Kareem was kind of like the outlier there because there ended up being video of that. But even if you go
Yeah.
all the way back, Ray Rice, when that
Yep.
story first broke, it kind of looked like he was going to keep his job. Video
Yep.
hit, unemployed, never see him
Yep.
again. So that's how
Yep.
it goes in this league.
100%. Yeah. And there are, other examples, but I think like there's the success story version of it, and there's obviously the unsuccessful story version of it for Andrew Berry. But I feel like it's fair to bring up both points for him in this matter. But yeah, I just think that unfortunately, like, hey, man, you got to keep those kind of things in greater perspective just because like you got life-changing money now. That's my only thing. Like,
Yep.
man, like I feel bad for that guy because now, like, realistically, outside of like, if he doesn't go to jail, like, what is he going to do now? Did he graduate college? Did he, study something that he wants to do outside of football? Because he might never play football again now. So
Correct.
it's a heartbreaking thing to see and report on, but it is what it is. So, Jeff, anything else before we call this one a quits?
No, man. I mean, it's. I know me and you don't really like covering stuff like this, but we got to. It's more than sports, unfortunately, at a lot of junctures. So we'll be
Yeah,
here.
training camp is going to be starting here soon, and and players are reporting and whatnot. But we will be hopefully getting some interesting clips and also starting to talk about cuts and whatnot and interesting you know training camp stuff that always comes about. So position battles, we might see some of those, and
For sure.
who knows? It'll be an interesting finish to the off season leading into the preseason. So, Jeff, that being said, thank you guys all so much. Please keep subscribing if you're new here. We really do appreciate it. Like we just said, we just got to 1,000 plus 100. Love it. And we're gonna just keep going. We have Cavs content coming out. We are doing collabs with people, so keep an eye out for that. And yeah, make sure you guys are liking, commenting, subscribing, and hitting the bell notification. With that being said, we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.